Hey guys, Stephen Bogren here from Pro Physique. Today what I want to talk about is how to get fit. Alright, so what's that even mean, dude? How to get fit? Well, for those of you who are a bit more advanced, this will probably seem pretty simple. But for those of you who are just starting out, who are just like saying, hey, you know what? I haven't been working out, I haven't been active, I haven't been exercising, I haven't been doing really anything, and I really want to make some progress towards those goals. I want to, start taking care of my body a little bit more. This might make a lot of sense to you guys, right? Now, if you are a bit more advanced, sometimes it can kind of take you back to, paying attention to the things that really matter, the things that are going to help you get the most out of the process, and that are going to help you be successful, right? Because, as always, we all make progress and backtrack and make progress and backtrack, and so none of us are, out of the loop or out of the circle on that. We all do it. It's human nature and it's kind of normal, right? So we always want to have to, sometimes it can do us a lot of good to just sort of reassess and go back and reevaluate, look at what we're doing and take inventory and make sure we're doing the right things, right? So how do we get fit? How do we get healthy? How do we get to a point where we're feeling a little bit better about our health, our energy levels, our mood state, and all those other great things that can come with, being active and living a healthy lifestyle? Well, right now, if you're doing nothing, if you're doing absolutely nothing, just start doing something, anything, right? What I typically recommend is tackling one thing first, right? So if right now you're not paying attention to your food intake, you're just sort of eating whatever you eat, you're not active, you're not healthy, you live what we would call a sedentary or inactive lifestyle, maybe you have a desk job like me where you're behind a computer most of the time, maybe start getting up and going for a walk on your lunch break. Something very, very simple. Now, the trick to lifestyle change, right? The trick to long-standing, sustainable change is taking it in chunks, right? So making sure that you're making changes that are realistic and doable are going to be the biggest thing that you can do, right? Just like any of the rest of us. I don't want to try and change my entire life in one day. Now, some of us, if we have health concerns, we might not have an option. We might be like, well, it's that or, okay, you're going to have to do that, right? Not everybody is in that same position. So if you are in that position, absolutely make a lifestyle change today. Switch it up, turn it around. It's definitely worth your life, I promise you that. But for most of us, that's not the case. For most of us, maybe things are kind of on the slow decline, or, we're still young enough or healthy enough to where we're not really seeing the fruition of those bad habits and unhealthy things come up yet, right? Maybe like blood pressure's slowly rising, or like our cholesterols are like, oh, well, they're getting close to where, maybe we don't want them to be, those kind of things, right? So now's a great time to assess those and say, okay, well, I don't want to let them get out of hand. I don't want to let them get away from me. Let's start addressing that. Let's start doing things, right? So a simple thing we can do is, like I said, start taking walks during your lunch breaks. You know what I mean? Just get a little bit more physical activity. Get up, get out, right? So not only is there a whole slew of really good evidence that like exercise, green exercise, being out in the sun, nature and all that stuff can be really good for stress relief, which is a whole nother topic in and of itself in terms of our general health, right? But it also gets you active, right? It gets you on your feet, gets you moving around, gets you doing something, right? Start there. Maybe you don't want to start with a lunch break walk. Maybe, that's just not our thing and we're not feeling it. Maybe we can start with going to the gym once, maybe twice a week, right? You don't have to be in the gym all day, especially if you haven't been doing anything. It's probably not a good idea. It's probably better to take it in chunks. Maybe we go one day a week for half an hour. We just do some machines, go around. We do that for, 3-4 weeks. Maybe then we can move up to 2 days a week. We can try some new exercises, maybe some free weight stuff as we're getting a little bit better with how we feel our body, how our body, recruits musculature, all that kind of good stuff. That can be a really good one too, right? Maybe we don't want to start with activity at all. Maybe you're like, F the gym, F everybody that goes to the gym, those guys are stuck up, they suck, I don't want to be around them. Okay, great. Maybe We just start with tracking our food. Not changing our food. No. Leave it right where it's at. But maybe the easiest thing we can do, the best thing we can do, is simply raising our own awareness of our dietary habits. Maybe it just starts with paying attention. Typically, what I've seen for a very large amount of people is if you're not tracking their food, if they're not tracking their food, why would you track it? Doesn't make sense, right? I should edit that out, but I won't. But when they start paying attention to what they're eating, they're always amazed. Now, that will go either they're amazed by how little they're actually eating or they're amazed by how much they're actually eating, right? Very few people are like, oh yeah, that's about what I thought. So simply having that awareness of like, okay, I'm in a good place, I'm in a bad place, like this is what I thought it wasn't what I thought it was, that can be eye-opening. So it's one of those things we definitely want to pay attention to. And so we have a lot of different things that we can do, different sort of tasks to tackle, right? To just start, to just start the process, right? And that's what it all comes down to. We have to start somewhere. However, if we try and do this one and this one and this one and this one all together, now that can become a little bit overwhelming, right? It can be difficult to change our entire lives overnight, right? We have a lot of habits. We have a lot of things that we like to do that, kind of influence who we are or are influenced by who we are. It can be very, very difficult to change them all at once, right? And so I don't typically tell people that that's a good idea. What I encourage you to do is to take it bit by bit, piece by piece. If we take it piece by piece, bit by bit, what ends up happening is 3 months later, you've made a good amount of progress. 6 months later, well, now your lifestyle's started to change, right? You start now enjoying things you didn't used to enjoy, doing things you didn't used to do. A year later, you've made real progress, right? And so years down the road, you look back and you're like, it's night and day difference, right? And so that's what we want. We want it to be small bits that are maintainable over time. It can be very, very difficult to say, hey, I'm going to stop drinking completely. No more alcohol. Maybe we try and limit it to a few when we go out, It's going to be hard to say, I'm going to stop eating Oreos when I eat Oreos every night, right? Maybe the better option is to limit it. To say, instead of having however many Oreos I feel like, I'm going to do 3, 4 Oreos. Yes, I know it's fucking hard to only eat a few Oreos. I get it. Trust me, I know that life. But it's one thing that we can focus on, right? It's one thing that we can put our efforts into. Our efforts, our emotion, the things that we are actively pursuing. We only have so much energy within us, so much to give to something, right? If we're trying to give our all to a million different things, it doesn't work, just like anything else in life, right? We have to prioritize and we have to pick and choose our battles. So, if you're just getting into the fitness industry or the health industry or the lifestyle, whatever the hell you want to call it, my number one advice is this. Take it step by step. Don't rush the process. It's a lifetime goal. It's a lifetime and a lifestyle thing. Start bit by bit, piece by piece. That's how you win. So I'll leave it there, guys. I hope you all have a wonderful Tuesday, and I'll talk to you soon.